Hey there, Dr. Anna Maria Helt, herbalist and microbiologist at osada.com. This is part 11 of our Rocky Mountain plant walk. So these are videos that I shot last season, 2021, in late spring and in the summer, looking at some of the great plants here in the Southern Rockies that have a long tradition of medicinal usage. So a lot of these plants are found elsewhere beyond the Rockies. So you might even find some plants you know from where you live here, but just be sure of identification before you use them for anything. If you're new to this series, you're just stumbling upon this video, there are 10 other installments you can go back into my YouTube channel and check out, but that's not necessary in order to be able to follow along with the few plants that I'm going to talk about this time around. And so here we go, part 11. We visited this elder maybe a month ago. Last time I was up on this trail, Sambucus racemosus. This is a red buried elder, and I was walking along today bypassing other elderberries because I wanted to find one blooming. So my phone's kind of washing it out a little bit here, but it's a creamy cluster of flowers. They'll often be a little bigger than this wee little one earlier in the season, and then later in the season we'll have clusters of red berries. Now the red berries have some toxicity to them. They're not what is generally used as medicine. There are some people who know how to process them and get around the toxicity, but I don't mess with the red ones. I use blue or black elderberries for medicine, but the flowers on this one are great medicine and interchangeable with other species of elder. So the flowers are a great diaphoretic. They're wonderful for fevers associated with respiratory infections, just as an example. Elsewhere in the world, they were used for other febrile illnesses as a tea. You can use it as a tincture. There's even liqueurs like Saint Germain that are made out of elder flowers. It's absolutely delicious. You can even fry the flowers up like fritters, bread them and fry them, and then dip them in elderberry syrup, and they're really tasty. But if I find a good collection of flowers, I usually will either dry them and save them for tea or extract them and have them in my apothecary as a tincture for support with things like cold and flus. I'll even throw them in an allergy blend for their anti-inflammatory properties. And then elderberries, the blue and purple species, that is, are, kind of a quintessential flu remedy. It's been found molecularly that they block the virus from actually entering into the cells, and the virus needs to get inside of our cells in order to propagate itself, in order to replicate. It's basically a parasite. So elderberry prevents flu from entering in the cells, and that's one of the reasons why it's useful for respiratory infection. It seems to be beneficial perhaps for other types of respiratory infection as well, and so I'll often use elderberry syrup or combine it with other herbs. And there are, people do kind of get stuck on elderberry as a remedy for everything, and it is a great one, but don't forget there are lots of other really simple garden herbs you can also use for cold and flu as well, if your only access to elder are your wild populations that are local, because other critters in the forest do like to have those berries for themselves too. So this is a really cool plant, right? Elder has a lot of folklore around it. Here it's a shrub. This sucker's about 4 feet tall. Back east and in Europe, it's actually a tree, and it is one of the sacred druid trees. One of the myths or the stories around this is that if you sit under an elder tree on Midsummer's Eve, which is coming up pretty darn soon, I don't know what I just hit here, but if you sit under this tree at midnight on Midsummer's Eve, you're supposed to see the elder queen and her retinue go by. So I did this one year. I had an elder that I planted where I lived, and it was about this big. So I kind of sat underneath of it at midnight on Midsummer's Eve, and I did not indeed see the elder queen go by, but I did see the space station go by. So that was pretty cool, even if it wasn't quite as much magic. Oh, I don't know, that is kind of magic, being able to launch people up there in a tin can like that. So elder, other really cool folklore, you're never supposed to harvest the wood without asking permission, otherwise really bad stuff would happen. Like if you had an actual elder tree and you harvested the wood to make a cradle, the baby would die, or other nasty things would happen. The baby would get sick. So a tree that through the years, through the lore, is deserving of a lot of respect, or you'll piss off the elder more, or the elder mother, the fairy, that embodies and is the spirit of this shrub here in Colorado, or tree elsewhere in the world. Here's Jacob's ladder. I'm not aware of medicinal uses for this plant. Not that there aren't any, but I'm not aware of them. It's just such a beautiful Rocky Mountain plant that I wanted to, look at the sunlight hitting that. I wanted to get a quick shot of it as I was walking back out of the trail to escape the mosquitoes. Jacob's ladder. Thanks for tuning in to part 11. There will be a few more installments to this plant walk. I had a lot of plants that I looked at and shot on video. And as usual, any questions about the plants, or if you want to share an experience maybe you've had with one of these plants, feel free. Put it in the comments section. I look at all the comments and respond. Unless it's a really smart-ass jerk comment, in which case I delete it. But anyway, thanks for tuning in, and be well, be healthy, take care. Until next time.